Consumers are feeling the pinch from the gas pump to the grocery store as inflation continues to weigh on everyone's wallets.
Right now, some lawmakers are taking aim at rising costs by addressing excessive price increases. That includes the Shrinkflation Prevention Act. Joining us now from Washington, D.C. is Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. Senator, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. You are co-sponsor of this legislation, so, appropriately named, but explain it to us.
Okay, sure. We all know what shrinkflation is, right? It's when you have that bag of chips and you reach in for the last of the Doritos and discover there aren't as many chips in here as there used to be. Or you go for the Oreos and there aren't as many as there used to be. Or even for the toilet paper and the roll has fewer pieces of paper on it. All of this is about companies, these giant corporations, that the bag still looks the same, the price is the same, but they just shrunk up the amount of whatever it is they're selling you. It's another way for these companies to be able to boost profits and to do it in a way that they hope will fool the consumers. Senator Casey and I are saying no more of this. We have a bill to say the FTC can do what it does in other areas where there's deceptive pricing or other deceptive acts by big corporations, and they can move in on shrinkflation as well. So that's what this is about.
The critics of this bill say that it goes too far because it tells companies what they have to do with their packaging. What do you say to that?
It doesn't tell companies what they have to do with their packaging. What it does is it says you don't get to trick people anymore. Look, I understand if companies' prices have gone up and then they pass along some of that price increase to consumers. I totally get that. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about price gouging, flat out. These giant corporations have increased their profit margins. Remember, if they were just passing along costs, the margin would stay the same. They've increased their profit margins by 75%. That's just gouging customers. And Senator Casey and I are fighting back with our bill alongside President Biden. He has put together a task force on this kind of predatory pricing. And also, he's attacking all the junk fees that corporations are putting in place. Ultimately, the president is saving people hundreds of dollars by just saying to these big corporations, look, you have a buyer, you have a seller, that's fine. Be open and fair about what the prices are. Let people see it. That's fine, but stop gouging the American consumer.
You know this well. There's reality and then there's perception. A new consumer price index report is out. Inflation rose more than 3% last month, but price increases have cooled down a bit since June. Still, a lot of people will tell you they just don't feel it and things still feel pricey. Why is that?
I understand that, and that's why I think it's so important what the president is trying to do right now. He's going after these big corporations that aren't passing along price increases to themselves, but are using inflation as a cover to keep those prices high. And it's true in food, it's true in gasoline, it's true throughout our economy, where these big corporations that have a lot of what's called market dominance, a lot of concentration in the industry, just jerk their prices up because they can boost their profits. And look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist here. I didn't make this up. When they're actually doing the calls to their investors, those calls are public. They do these on a regular basis. They're saying it right out loud. They're saying that inflation gives them a chance to boost prices, and the American consumer will think, gee, there's nothing we can do. It's just inflation. And the answer is, yes, there is. These big corporations are gouging consumers. This is when we need government on our side. We need a president on our side, and that's what we've got in Joe Biden. We need the Federal Trade Commission on our side, and that's what we've got in Washington right now. Someone to push back against these big corporations and their deceptive practices.
We're running out of time, but I do want to ask you, because, inflation and the economy are top of mind for voters as they go into this big election year. Are you worried about how that's going to play out at the ballot box?
You know, for me, this is not about politics. What this is really about is fairness, and fairness to families. People are perfectly willing to pay what something costs. They're perfectly willing for these big corporations to make a profit. What they're not willing to do is get tricked.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
You bet.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.